When you hit send on a text or back up a photo, that data doesn't go up into the sky. It goes down, deep down. Welcome to the layman's globe. The concept of the cloud gives us the illusion of a weightless, wireless world, but approximately 99% of all international data exchange actually moves through physical subsea cables. While satellites are vital for remote regions, they lack the scale for a global economy. Modern cloud computing, financial trading, and AI workloads require the massive capacity and low cost that only high-speed fiber optics can provide. This means our digital civilization rests on a massive physical infrastructure project stretched across the freezing darkness of the seabed. This ocean network eventually hits a hard geographical limit. A cable spanning thousands of miles of open water must find a specific point to connect to a national network on land. This connection happens at a landing station, the critical coastal gateway between the submarine system and the terrestrial grid. These stations house the complex terminal equipment and the massive electrical power supplies required to keep lasers pulsing across an entire ocean. Because these buildings concentrate so much critical data into a single coastal site, they represent a primary strategic vulnerability and a high-priority risk for government espionage. To understand the fragility of this system, you have to look at the cables themselves. If you pull apart a submarine line, you'll find heavy protective layers of steel armor and copper, but the actual data travels through hair-thin strands of optical fiber at the very center. Because light signals degrade over thousands of kilometers, operators place repeaters along the line to periodically amplify the signal. On a global map, geography forces these lines to converge. Dozens of independent systems bundle tightly together as they pass through the Red Sea, the Strait of Hormuz, and the Baltic. These are digital chokepoints, narrow maritime corridors where the world's most critical data lines are forced to share space with crowded shipping lanes. This clustering means a single incident in a small geographic area can put a staggering amount of international traffic at risk simultaneously. Between 150 and 200 cable faults occur every year. Dragged ship anchors are responsible for about 30% of those breaks, making a single ship a potential threat to a country's connectivity. Other common disruptions include bottom trawling fishing gear catching on a line, or natural disasters like underwater earthquakes and volcanic eruptions shifting the seabed. These frequent accidents provide perfect cover for gray zone warfare. A rival state can intentionally cut a cable and claim it was a simple maritime accident, staying below the threshold of an actual missile attack. Repairing a break requires a specialized ship to hoist the cable from the deep and splice the fibers with extreme precision. In an active conflict zone, the difficulty of securing permits and protecting these slow-moving vessels can leave a region dark for weeks. This is the concept known as the invisible blockade theory. By severing cables at a choke point and preventing repairs, an attacker can devastate an economy without ever declaring a conventional war. For well-connected nations, a single cut is usually managed by rerouting traffic. But for an island or an isolated region with only one or two links, a break can trigger a total communications blackout. The systemic danger is a regional digital shock, where multiple cables in a shared corridor fail at once, overwhelming the spare capacity of alternative routes. In June 2026, the US FCC tightened security rules for submarine infrastructure, citing risks from foreign equipment at landing stations that could be used for espionage or a remote cyber attack. Tech giants like Google and Meta have responded by investing directly in their own cable systems, taking control of the physical infrastructure that carries their massive cloud traffic. Submarine cables now function as vital instruments of national economic security and geopolitical leverage, carrying the data that sustains entire economies. Global resilience depends on 4 layers: building diverse physical routes, maintaining spare capacity, prearranging faster repair permits, and using naval patrols to deter suspicious activity. The ultimate threat to the internet is the physical concentration of too many cables and repair dependencies in the exact same place. The next major communications crisis is far more likely to begin with a heavy anchor dropping in the wrong place than with a sophisticated cyber hack. Thanks for watching The Layman's Globe. The systems that run our world are often the ones we never see.